Hello there, thanks for stopping by. So I want to take a look at Legacy Leader Class Laser Optimus Prime. This is hard to say. So this is the newest take on Laser Optimus Prime that we've got in now the Legacy line. And I think he's pretty good. I'm going to do some comparisons, a lot of comparisons to the other ones in this video, and go over basic transformation features, those sorts of things, you know, the basic run-of-the-mill stuff too. So please, like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Give me a comment on your favorite Generation 2 Laser Optimus Prime. Let me know which one you like the best. And without any further ado, let's get to the review. So starting out with the box, this I absolutely love. It is a beautiful looking box, although there's no window. You can't actually see the figure at all. But this is a beautifully rendered image. This is kind of off-putting here. Well, not off-putting, but is kind of not exactly correct. These don't actually come out. So I think that could be confusing to some people. But it looks good. The artwork is great. It shows up. These things show up on the shelves. They really, the colors and everything set it apart for every other toy in the aisle. So this is good. I think the package does what it should do, is make something that stands out and is very recognizable. Of course, it says Laser Optimus Prime on the side. On the side here, we have this sort of like, almost like how the Shattered Glass did with a bend right here. You have a close-up of his head, his alt mode, and then on the back, we see robot mode, base mode, and truck mode. On the top, you have the Legacy logo. Oh, and you do have the stats right here, which will go to this web page. So inside the package, you get the Optimus Prime in his vehicle mode, and he comes with the laser rod sword here. It has a 5mm port, 2 pegs on the sides. You can actually store this on the underside of the vehicle, like so, by putting these 2 little tabs and these tabs here. So it stores a lot like the original. Kind of goes like that, which is, I love this callback. I think that's really awesome. You have this Energon shield thing that's actually done. This piece is new, but this piece is from Earthrise or War for Cybertron Siege Prime. So you have an axe, I guess, shield axe thing, which you could take this, and there's 2 little peg holes right there, and there's 2 little pegs, and you could actually just stick that on there, that direction, or more appropriately, that direction. You could also put it inside the trailer. You get a set of instructions, and you get, of course, his trailer. Taking a look at his trailer real fast, there's a ton of detail on it. It is small, though. That's one thing I will say about this. It is rather small. But they did just pack a lot of detail into this thing, which looks cool. So I like it as far as detail is concerned. And you do get, of course, Prime. Now, he is mis-transformed in the package, at least on mine. These pieces here are actually flipped up. They need to flip up, and there's little pegs here that hold these arms in a lot better. But this is here he is in truck mode. And I must say, I like it. The flames are reminiscent of actually that Reveal the Shield one that we got not too long ago. And the trailer goes on like so. So that's how he looks with the truck and with a trailer. The trailer is kind of small. Definitely a smaller trailer for this big of a cab. But I think it looks all right. I like the colors, like the silver sort of gray tone on it. But I'm going to get into some good comparisons now. Kind of doing this video a little backwards, mainly because I like to start with whatever the figure's packaged as. It's packaged as either robot mode or vehicle mode first. I'll just do whatever it's packaged as. So in this case, he's packaged in vehicle mode, so we're doing vehicle mode first. So here he is with the original Laser Optimus Prime from Generation 2. As you can see, it does take a lot of cues from it, but this one is much, much larger than the new Leader Class one. I guess this would be considered Leader Class today. So, but as you can tell, it has this sticker. This is when Optimus Prime stopped giving a shit about the whole robots in disguise thing and just wanted to announce to the world that he was Optimus Prime. He says it on the door. He says it on his trailer. He is Optimus Prime, and he is not ashamed to admit it. Here, there is none of that at all, but it does retain this red, the red down the side here, and the black on the top. This top of the trailer here don't have any of the disc shooters. Mine's actually missing on my example, unfortunately. But it's very similar in a lot of regards. Let's take a look at the actual truck. So they're similar but different. As you can tell here, has an Autobot logo on the side of the door. Actually, much like Scourge has the Decepticon logo on the side of the door. And you know we're going to see one of those from this. So I can't wait. There's the front of the cab. So I think it does a pretty good job of looking like Optimus Prime, for sure. Or looking like this version of Optimus Prime. He doesn't have any of the light-up gimmicks, like anything at all. No batteries at all in this thing. But out of the previous offerings we had, this is by far the closest that we've come to that original Generation 2 version. So just real quick, let's take a look at the trailer. So for the trailer, it does open up, and you want to take and lift this piece up in the front first. And then these two pieces move down. A little ramp comes down here. And then this comes down. Let me turn it around. Like that. And then fold, if I could do it, fold this little piece out here. So it's like a repair bay. It does happen to have this little gun emplacement, which can do 360 degrees. And that is similar to the original, which is this gun here. Now this doesn't have any missiles in it, no little spring-loaded missile thing on the side. It actually is devoid of any sort of weapons besides the top one. This piece can come out if you would like. It just kind of frictions in there, and it can spin around. There's a ton of places in here, 5mm ports, so you could put any weapons in here. So it does have some functionality. It's not as fun as the original, but it like I said, it does have some functionality. These pieces here, it's these two little pegs, could fit right here. That also goes for the sword in the other side. You could store other characters' weapons. He doesn't have a proper gun, so you could store other weapons in here if you'd like, from other characters, from other figures. And so it does have a hauling capability, which is fairly neat. Now this thing, I'll put this up here, in comparison with the original, this doesn't hold a candle to it. Just a real quick comparison here. This does need some repair, but that is the original, and those are that's kind of the size difference we're looking at. Put that missile back. Gosh, damn that thing. It is a massive, massive size difference. It really is no comparison to the original. Here's the previous offering we got from the Chaos on Velocitron set. So as you can see, this one is much better than this one. Kind of see how they stack up together. Moving on to the Reveal the Shield version. So this one didn't have a trailer that came with it originally, but you could see here that these both have flames. So this is the flames, kind of like this, reminiscent of the movie Prime. But, so as you can tell, that this one sort of takes a cue from this one. Now, this one is much smaller, and what I noticed is, this actually will still work. And to me, that actually looks like the right size. Now, one more comparison I do want to do, let's do it without the trailer first, is comparison to the Earthrise Prime. See how those compare together. I'd say the comparison is pretty decent as far as the size-wise. These windows are much larger. In fact, they're a little comically large even for the rig here. The proportions are not correct on it. It doesn't look too bad. It's definitely noticeable. Anybody that has looked at rigs at any time in their life. So there is that, but it's not too bad. I mean, considering they have the same legs also, they do a pretty good job of incorporating it into the new figure. So let's see if I can get them side by side here. You can see kind of just how much longer it is. They're about the same height. So all in all, I think these guys compare pretty well together. Now, if the trailer's on, go ahead and put the trailers here. Yeah, the trailer is about the same. I would say about the same. So they kind of have the same sort of area where the trailer hitches at. Well, not just because they have the same legs, because that's the way the trailer's also designed. And the trailers themselves are roughly the same. So there is, hey, you can see the hitch actually is a little further back on here, but they seem about the same length. So they're about the same. Now moving on to transformation. It's actually not too hard. First things we just want to do is go ahead and take the gas tanks and just push those in, just like we did on Earthrise Prime, exactly the same. And then we're going to want to unpeg these pieces here. Now, one thing I do want to point out about these pieces is this whole piece right here is his waist, and it is on a hinge in the back here. So there is that little tiny tab right there that goes in that hole on either side is holding this, almost this whole assembly together. It does have these tabs a little on the back end here, but it's not super tight. It does help at holding it, so you don't want to just pull it. You actually want to make sure that you open those first before moving it, because you can see it's really movable there, and you could easily break those little tabs or the hole there. It's just not a very strong connection point. So there is that. So we want to take these, lift them up, move them like this. Those are his arms. So, oh, I do have the sword under there. You want to make sure that's not there. You go ahead and move the legs down. You give them a gear walk mode if you want. And go ahead and just move those out. Not all the way yet. I'm going to take the cab, move the cab open like that. And that'll help with this. Move that so you can move it like this. Then you want to take the arm, move it. Oh, first, my apologies. First, let's take the piece here, the nose, open that up. This is one thing I do like. He got the grill for the front of the robot here, and it goes through here. I like when they do that. I think that's kind of cool. Like at least try to make it a little bit in a useful spot. Yeah, so one thing that wasn't, the arms can't move the arms around until the chest piece comes. The chest piece will stop it. Now, the chest piece, let's move these all the way out of the way. This chest piece here, and this little, the abdomen, they come around, and what likes to happen on mine is they like to get disconnected all the time. So I move that around, and then you can kind of move it like this. And this here piece is not very strong, so see if it'll happen. Oh, I got it. Oh, there it goes. Ah, all right. It did kind of come out, but it tabs in pretty tight. It snaps together, you heard, but this will come off. This piece will come off. Comes off, pops off all the time. That's irritating. The tolerances are not right on the joints there. So we'll look out for that. Keep those kind of out of the way. You want to make sure you take the arms, kind of move them out. Don't move them all the way around yet. Keep them out like this, so you have them kind of this direction here. And then, so you got to move this back a bit. There's these tabs. I get them right there. These tabs that go in the back, right inside there. So I move this back, move that up and around on both sides. Up and around on both sides. And then that will tab together like that and create the sides of his abdomen here. So now you could take the arm, which is the shoulder right here, and that just snaps in place there. And then you could go ahead and turn the bicep, snap it together, turn the bicep. You take this piece here, snap that all in. This piece will actually friction into the back, so it holds pretty tightly. Go ahead and rotate his waist, turn it around, flip up the head, snap that in. Now the back here, there's this little plate in the back, this little red piece. Kind of move that down. And then this piece just folds right back where it was and snaps in. That red piece kind of serves as, looks like thrusters, so there's no holes there. So they do make some points to cover up some hollow bits on this, which is nice. Move this camera up a little bit. So you take these shoulder bits here, and on this double hinge, you kind of just stick them to the side and move the shoulder flaps down. Take the hands, which hinge out of the bottom, like that. And then they are inside here on a ball joint. For either side. Go ahead and close up the knees. And unpeg the legs. Open the feet. And we have Laser Optimus Prime all transformed. Go ahead and put his sword on him if you'd like. Now his sword does have this little, see if you can see it there. This little tab there on one side, so you can only kind of fit it in one way. It fits his hand like so. There he is in robot mode. So I think he does, all in all, transform pretty well. The way they do the pieces up in here is kind of creative. Let's get in real close and look at that head sculpt. That head sculpt is excellent. It is very much like the original. I just love the way they came out. The eyes are really dark, and it's hard to tell if they're even painted. I would venture to say they're not. They almost look dead eyes. And if you're moving down, you can see the matrix actually behind the clear, just a translucent piece right here. And you can see the matrix back there, which I'll look at in a minute. Grill, all the detail here. You have detail on the shoulders. Paint, silver paint here. Of course, we know what the legs look like. He does have new front leg pieces here. The feet are the same. Turn around, he has really nicely painted rims. He has bunch of waffling in the back of the legs, which is unfortunate. Move him all the way back around so you can see how he looks. And of course you do have these panels that open on both sides, and what you see in there is a translucent piece. Almost looks like a Lego. It's these don't come out like shows on the box art. They just stay there. They're only for looks or just for a pretend play. His matrix chamber does open up, and it opens up like this. And the matrix can come out, and it is tiny. I get that out of there. There we go. Hang on. Put him over here. Give you a close up of this matrix. So here is the matrix. I believe this is slightly different than the other primes. It feels smaller to me. Put that back in there. And the fact this is Laser Prime with zero light piping, no electronics, is interesting because it really takes out that sort of Laser Prime. I guess it's just for the laser rod sword. So yeah. Let's get into some comparisons, and then I'll get into articulation. All right, so first up for articulation, we're just going to go ahead and take a look at him next to the original Laser Prime after Generation 2. So he does have the, see the yellow shows up. There's a lot of similarities here. Colors are really on point with this one. All in all, looks pretty good. Does not have the red knees, which maybe a Toy Hacks could fix that. Let's look at those head sculpts. Of course, you can even see the light piping coming through on that. This is a great head sculpt, though, especially when you look at the original and that. I love how it maintains a similar shape. I think they look great. Overall, I mean, all in all, these, it really, I mean, you can really tell it's the same figure, like it's the same character. It's very much like it. Mine's leaning back a little bit. But I mean, look at that. Of course, chrome on these figures would be cool. I really do miss chrome. I mean, it feels like an updated version of this one. I think it looks very good. It's definitely a good homage to the character. And here he is with Reveal the Shield, Laser Optimus Prime. You know, he is very much bigger than that. This one, a hell of a lot bigger. So, I mean, the head sculpts are just night and day. Getting this head sculpt on this one, I wasn't really sure I liked it, but I ended up really liking it for the light piping it had, and it's just something that it brings new to the table with it. You can see how these kind of compare. The sword being an orange color instead of the blue or a clear. That's how these things go. And here he is with the fairly recent Chaos and Velocitron version of Laser Prime that we got with the Titans Return line. And this one is actually a big departure because it's a triple changer, so he makes some sacrifices in it, as in the small shoulder pylons. But that's how these two guys compare. One thing I will say, his sword's much larger, but he's just a clunky figure. I like it, but it's kind of clunky. And you can see how his head sculpt is versus this one. Also, the lighter blue is because it's the Chaos on Velocitron version. I don't have the regular retail version of this one. I liked the stickers on the trailer portion of it. Thought those were cool. So all in all, I think he's pretty cool. I know I like everything, but I think he's pretty cool. There's not a lot to hate on him. I don't like these shoulders here. I wish they went around with the arms because it feels sort of weird to me, especially when he moves his arm this direction. It doesn't look good, and it impedes movement up. That's something I don't like. Some of the pieces kind of pop off, which I don't like that either. However, he is a good figure. He's a good version of Laser Prime, and he'd be a great addition to your collection if you already don't have all the rest, or even if you do have all the rest and you just collect Optimus Primes. I think he's great. He has good sculpt work on him. These things opening here are very cool. I wish these did something, but it's understandable. They'd be really small, little pellet things that fire out. But I like it's there. It gives them an extra little play feature. So definitely gets a recommend from me. So yeah, if you happen to see him, go pick him up. So thanks for watching the video. And remember to like and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys next time.